Hello everyone, Raycon Number here. I really want to talk about the wave of positivity that I feel has come from UmaMusume's global release. It actually reminds me a lot of when Pokemon Go first released back in 2016. I think it's really brightening up the internet right now, in a time where many of us are feeling very anxious, stressed, angry, etc. And that includes me. Honestly, I have not been in a very good headspace recently. I'm alive and will continue to be, nothing terrible happened, but I've been very depressed and unmotivated. So I've been leaning on getting sucked into video games more than usual, as a distraction and a source of joy, which I honestly think is okay. Sometimes you need genuine distractions from negative influences. They should not completely replace better coping mechanisms though. I'm starting to get better now and felt up for talking about how this game has been a positive influence during this time. I think it's doing that for a lot of other people as well, which you can see in the kind and diverse community. UmaMusume itself feels very wholesome as a result of its endearing characters, the role of the player, and the positive messaging and feelings that come from the content of the game. I will primarily be talking about the game, but what I say generally applies to the property as a whole. So, the UmaMusume community has felt super warm and welcoming since the beginning for me. I have not seen even a single post or video that could be considered gatekeeping or anything along those lines. I've only seen people encouraging and embracing people joining the community. There's been so much adorable and beautiful fan art and funny memes of the Umas, and there's a ridiculous number of guides you can find across the internet. There's also been a ton of cross-cultural contact between the Japanese-speaking and global fandoms that has also been very wholesome to see. Many Japanese fans have translated messages talking about their favorite characters and things they've created. Global creators are doing the same and are joining on efforts to do things like helping the horses, like the real life horses. For example, a lot of people are donating to the real Haru Ura. There's a lot of really great fan art about that. The global community is discovering Japanese UmaMusume memes, and the Japanese fandom is doing the same with our memes. It's been really nice seeing creators across the spectrum of Japanese speaking to non, young to old, and fans of Japanese media to people who have barely touched it. This is one reason why it reminds me a lot of Pokemon Go. People across demographics are having fun and interacting with each other in a very wholesome space. All of this has just been an immense joy to watch and to be a part of. When there's so much negativity and malice on the internet nowadays that can really feel inescapable, it's been nice to spend time in this community that I felt has been almost entirely positive. And I think a huge part of the game being wholesome comes down to the characters and the writing. The Umas are filled with personality and really endearing qualities. And every character also has a story of overcoming something and growing. Like Haru Ura's boundless drive that resonates super well in her story, and other ones like Rice Shower learning to love herself. And you have an important role in their stories. The game really pulls you into the stories of its characters, with you having the ability to insert yourself in multiple ways and have an important role in their story. I think it's very important that, in my opinion, the game does not push you to view the Umas romantically. You absolutely can enjoy this in a dating simulator sort of way. The writing has plenty of clear coding for that direction. But I think it's also just as easy to view yourself solely as their trainer and put yourself in more of like a guardian role. Someone who just wants to see them happy and successful. I would also like to note that you can choose to be male or female, unlike many other games that can have this sort of vibe. So many people talk about the Umas like they're children, and that's how I felt too. The good writing really comes about in regards to this idea. I think series that have any sort of like shipping type stuff, and even just this type of harem versus harem dating sort of thing, really should have it so that people can view it in that romantic way, but also have other ways to view the characters and insert themselves in the story. But regardless of how you see yourself in the game, a big reason why this game is engrossing and brings strong positive emotions in players is because of your position in the story. You get to be the person who helps someone achieve their dream. A lot of people have the desire to be that person. And a lot of people feel like they aren't accomplishing their own dreams, that they're failing to do something that they can, or they think that what they want to do is impossible. This game gives you the position to help the Umas who are struggling in similar ways that a lot of us do. You as the viewer resonate well with their struggles that you learn about through their career. And through that, the game puts you in a position to help them overcome these issues as their trainer. I think that's why this game and others like it connect so well with people. This game feels so wholesome because of the good tone and the way it approaches the characters and the story. I think anyone can fall in love with these characters. I don't think this game being focused entirely on female characters means it's locked into only appealing to people attracted to female characters. Just look at all the female content creators having a great time in the game, for example. Liking characters is not solely about sexual attraction. You need to get your head out of the gutter if you really think that. It's also about creating characters with great personalities that anyone can get attached to and resonate with. Like, for example, a lot of the girls in this game are made to be very cute on purpose. Appreciating cuteness is a pretty unifying thing across humanity. And as well as having traits that make you want to cheer someone on, or protect them, or have that cuteness aggression, all these things are universal. And I think UmaMusume does a good job of really presenting it as this. As far as I can tell, the game is working great at appealing to the wide spectrum of people. I've seen so many posts and stream clips and stuff like that gushing over their favorites. And isn't seeing people passionately talk about their favorites just like one of the best things in the world? Talk more about my own favorites if you'd like to hear. My favorite character is Winning Ticket, who I love for her very loud and aggressive positivity. She has infinite energy, and I feel like she shares that hyped up energy with you. She definitely did for me. It's hard for me not to smile when she's on screen. She's just like so adorable. I would sacrifice everything to make her happy. Her yells and screams are like so cute and funny, even if they make your ears bleed. And I also really love that they added the detail of the characters in cutscenes often recoiling at how loud her voice is too. Another favorite of mine is Sakura Bakushin O. I adore the exaggerated laugh that she does when she gets first place. I think it's part of the reward of winning with her. And she is well known as one of the easiest characters to play as well. She gave me my first Euro win and served as a nice way to get a win after repeated failures with other characters, especially when I was still inexperienced at the beginning. I will always be grateful to her for how much she made the earlier game more manageable and helped me feel a bit less frustrated when I was still learning the mechanics. I also really love Tachyon and Goldchip for just being absolute freaks. Haru Urara she's just so sweet, and I adore her story. It genuinely hits really hard. They really put together an inspirational story with her, and I would call that story-wise the highlight of the game. She deserves the copious amount of ryegrass that she's getting in all the cute fan art. Would do anything to keep her smile too. Agori Cap is another favorite. I like the big bee eaters. I think it's cute. And Tannhauser has such a cute vocal performance. I could listen to her say Mambo forever. There are so many characters in this series, with every character having diehard fans out there who will tell you exactly why they like them so much, whether it be in text or a video like this, doing fan art or making memes. I just love to see this kind of stuff, that, just passionate people who are just passionate fans of something. And this is also another thing that I think it has in common with Pokemon. Another aspect of why the good vibe with characters works is the overall lack of sexualization to the characters. To be clear, I'm not fundamentally against sexualization in a vacuum. It has its place. To see my post about Zelda Zone Zero for a little more on that topic. But for creating a more welcoming and universally enjoyable game that can appeal to that wider spectrum, I think it's better for it to largely be absent, which it mostly is with UmaMusume. Girls do have breasts that bounce, as many people have pointed out, but yeah, fat moves when the body does, especially when it comes to activities like running. I don't think this game has breasts bouncing boobily, which refers to the exaggerated jiggles and stuff like that. That is very common in Japanese media. And the characters also really don't have exaggerated features, and most of the outfits, I think, don't cater to fan service that much either, again, especially going by anime style standards. The only thing I can think of as truly fan servicey is probably the Hot Springs ticket, but as far as I know, that's super rare. I've only gone in once since day one, and I've never even really noticed it popping up other times as well. And even then, it's not much by anime standards. It's very tame, short, and you could just skip it. The lack of sexualization is also reflected in the writing for the most part as well. I don't personally think the girls feel very objectified very much in the writing, and I think they stand strong as characters, with their predominant traits never just being, they have big boobs, or they're horny for the main character, or whatever. I never got that impression from any of the characters. I'm not trying to tell everyone to feel though. Feel free to share if you disagree. This is a very opinionated thing that is very much up to interpretation. But from my perspective, along with the people I know and the people that I've seen talk about the game, I really don't think there's anything to be really offended by or creeped out here. Thanks to this and its universally endearing characters, I really think pretty much anyone can enjoy the game. And it's been so lovely to see people sharing how much they love the game and their favorite characters. The general gameplay of the game also fits, with being welcoming to all, and it has some of the game's positive messaging worked in. This game has a lot of depth to it when it comes to making characters, but you do not need to go all the way with that stuff. You can enjoy the game very casually, just learning as you go and getting better slowly, or not caring about scores at all and just enjoying it for what it is. You can be like me and take, I'd say, a middle ground approach, looking at guides and recommendations, but still doing what you want over perfect optimization. Also, you could go full sweaty gamer if you want, making spreadsheets, calculating stats, and farming perfect sparks. You can enjoy the game at the pace and with the style you're comfortable with, and you can change how you feel as well. I started out by not looking up guides and stuff at all, just enjoying the natural learning experience. Once I got a few Euro wins, I genuinely felt the desire to learn more, and moved to the middle area wanting to really get all these different wins and do better. It does feel really great when you get better at the game and succeed where you previously failed. The gameplay is simple enough that someone very casual can enjoy it, but has enough depth for the people who really like the nitty-gritty and optimization and grinding and stuff like that. There's also a lot of elements for players to focus on based on their own style of gameplay that they enjoy. You can go for the highest score possible in a career run with your favorite, you can try to rank in PvP, you can be a completionist and collect all the race trophies, which there are already more than 100 of, and do achievements, or you can just play to increase your affection with the characters, just so you can do all their specific stories and stuff like that. For me, I plan to stay in this middle area, and I consider myself a completionist in terms of goals. I'd really just like to get all the race trophies. But regardless of what type of gameplay you like or what motivations you have, this game really gives you goals that you can work towards in a satisfying way, which to me, they've done a great job at providing this and making you feel accomplished once you've completed them. The core gameplay also fits with the themes that get brought up in the game. Runs will never really go perfect, which can be frustrating. Believe me, I've gotten genuinely very annoyed while doing career runs and being serious about trying to win. But it's worth not giving up at them, because I've also got many Euro wins in runs where I thought the run just sucked. And I've also lost runs I thought were going super well. Through persevering and gaining more knowledge and skill, you can overcome pitfalls. I had to try way harder to get Euro wins with some of the characters and others, including my favorite winning ticket. I actually struggled a lot to get hers. Those wins felt the most gratifying to get, to be honest, and I'm not usually one for super harsh difficulty and grinding. The game does a solid job of showing you that while luck can play into things, your efforts do play off. You need patience. You're not going to get rank A Umas and Euro wins on day one, but you can get there if you keep trying and learning the game. This meshes super well with how the stories of the Uma go. They all experience pitfalls and or have pitfalls in their backstory. They struggle along with you. And like you do as you continue to play, you gain more confidence. At first, I felt like I had to get skills the second I had enough skill points for it. Now I have a decent idea of how long I can hold on to my skill points while still ranking well enough in races, so you can get more gold skills and stuff like that. The way you slowly build up your knowledge and confidence feels really good. And it's also worth noting how when you do not fully complete a career, or you get a Euro win, it's not truly treated as a loss. You still have the veteran Uma after, which can be used in PvP, and can serve as a reminder of how far you've come once you get better ones. The daily mission related to the career is just to win a career race. Giving it a try is all you need to get that. Just because you did not go all the way doesn't mean it felt like a total waste, which I think can be kind of a problem in video games sometimes. There's always room to grow, which I think is a really pleasant sentiment that really comes through in the game well, with the gameplay and these themes meshing very well. Like in the video for this that you're seeing here, I have footage of this run with, spoilers, I don't win it. At first, I was thinking I should record another run where I win, but I actually kind of think it's perfect. It's perfect for this topic that I still use footage of a loss. I might have lost, but I still enjoyed this run when I played it. UmaMusume also has the idol side of it, which can be good for the people who enjoy it. I wouldn't go as far as say like I'm a true idol fan, but I have a strong appreciation for what it can provide. I've enjoyed many idol things like Love Live and Hololive's idol activities. Idol media can provide a lot of positive messaging and performances that lift people's spirits. It can be hard to put into words without going at length, which I don't really want to do here, but the energy and feeling put into like Japanese idol performances can feel like you're getting some of that positive and energetic energy and just make you feel good. And I do think you see that here. The struggles of the characters becoming racers has solid overlap with the traditional stories of idols, even if the idol aspect of the Umas doesn't really factor into the stories a ton. But even if you are someone who doesn't enjoy the idol aspects of things, which is very much a thing, especially for people not familiar with Japanese media, I've seen some people like legit have like cringe reactions. But if you're one of those people, this is extremely easy to ignore. You can just easily skip the performances that come up in career. They come up once for the first time, which in that case you can just skip it after a few seconds, then you never have to see that one again. So I like the idol aspect of the game, just in the sense that you can say it's a little tacked on, but I still think it's kind of nice for what it is. And like I said, I think it meshes well with the other aspects of the game, like how the Uma stories usually go. So while this aspect of the game does not work for anyone, I do still think is a positive aspect that can really give you that, I can kind of add an additional element to that, like kind of wholesome feeling that I think the game does. And if you're not someone who enjoys that, you can just ignore it. So I really don't think it's a negative that it's here, even if you don't enjoy idol stuff. I want to end off with one of the most important points to me, about what makes the wholesome tone of the series and your ability to get sucked in so effective. UmaMusume is a series that is unabashedly itself. In modern discourse about Japanese media versus American media, for example, shonen action anime versus superhero movies, people often talk about how cynical and ironic American media can often be. I agree with the criticism that media like Marvel is being brought down by how much it feels like it needs to act like it's above, embracing how ridiculous these media properties are. If you know anything about these original American superhero comics, you know how absurd and ridiculous they are. While in anime, I'd say it's very rare to see this attitude outside of isekai. UmaMusume is a perfect example of how much better a piece of media can be when it fully embraces itself. This is a world where horses never existed, and they just never existed. And instead, purely female UmaMusume exist and apparently filled their roles. They use massive phones that reach from their mouths to the long ears on top of their heads, and they have dedicated lanes on roads just so they can sprint without bowling people over. The Umas are both idols and competitive racers at the same time. Among other things, it's ridiculous. And it does none of this with any cynicism. A big part of why the series feels so warm and engrossing is because it's presenting itself wholeheartedly. It believes in itself, committing to and going all the way with its silly and unique world. You can tell that the creatives behind UmaMusume are having fun, and embrace making the series be its true self without shame. You feel this as the viewer when you experience the series, and it gives such a great impression and is to me so critical for immersion. This is one of the reasons why anime is so successful in my opinion, because most of the time they go all the way with embracing their weirdness and silliness with little to no edge. Series like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Delicious in Dungeon, Dan to Dan, One Piece, Reborn as a Vending Machine, you name it. You can think of hundreds of examples. These series are great in part because they fully embrace their quirkiness and uniqueness. UmaMusume acts this out well, and is critical to what pulls people into this world and lets them connect with it. To conclude, I feel that UmaMusume has brought a lot of joy to me and the internet with its global release. The community has felt very warm and welcoming. The game caters to a wide variety of players. It has very lovable characters with well-written stories that play into the positive themes of the story, with the game's general gameplay also working into that very well. I hope I can help people notice and respect the positive impact I believe this game is having, and how wholesome media can be very important. Uplifting, wholesome, healing, whatever you want to say, media has always been very important to me. I consider myself a champion for these series. I want people to be able to understand how impactful that these types of series can be, and that there's a lot that goes into making something an effectively wholesome experience than just slapping cute characters on the screen. And I really think UmaMusume succeeds at being a very wholesome, heartwarming experience. Thank you very much for watching. Please gush about your favorite Umas. And fun fact, when I sat down to finish writing this, I put on the Bakushin song, and I decided that I would not turn it off until this was done. Does anyone want to calculate how many times I heard Bakushin over those 2 hours and 45 minutes? Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you've enjoyed. And check out my website, blog under a log, in the description, which has write-ups of pretty much all of my videos, and some articles that have not made it to YouTube, such as my manga chapter reviews of Bocchi the Rock, and some articles written by other people. I also have a Patreon if you'd like to financially support me, or as a free member, you can get updates on when I upload on my blog and here on my YouTube channel.